Hey there everyone, just getting set up for our live show here with Marilyn. I'm just going to go ahead and pin this comment here. Please comment below if you have anything to share with us. Give me a moment to just get my phone settled in here. Welcome everyone. Okay. There's our beautiful Marilyn waiting for us. And let me go and check our comments there. Okay, wonderful. And I'm just going to hook up our sound. Thank you guys all for being so patient. Okay, great. Hey everybody, so I'm just going to pull it up here on our computer so we can see your comments. Bear with me here for another moment. Okay. Awesome. Okay guys, so I can see some comments here. Hi Heen, 5140, welcome. So, okay, today we have one of our practitioners, Marilyn, here today, and she has pretty much been with us from the very beginning.
Yeah. I think so, 8 years, something like that.
Excuse me, 2008. It's been a while. So, yeah, we're here today to have Gaia Hawaii's live talk story. If it's your first time joining us, this is a platform that Gaia Hawaii is trying to build for the community and practitioners and anyone who is trying to delve into some spirituality and see what it's about. We welcome your comments, we welcome your input, so please let us know. This is a platform for us to talk about how common spirituality is. I think maybe common is not the best word, but it's not this far off crazy thing that a lot of us aren't experiencing. It's the small things. It's the little stories. It's the little synchronicities. And we just want to kind of bring that to your attention and make it kind of something that we can all talk about, a comfortable place to talk about that. But let's go ahead and meet Marilyn here. Hi Marilyn.
Hello. Hi.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a reader here. I'm a psychic, and I do energy healing, which is, I think I had a phrase for that, energy transformation specialist. It took me a long time to
it's a good one.
Figure out what to call it.
Yeah.
I do automatic writing, intuitive coaching.
Yeah. Well-rounded. I mean, you've been in this business for quite some time.
A long time.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you started with your journey? Can you recall maybe like the first time you had a spiritual experience?
Well, spiritual experience is different. That I've just had like odd things happen.
Yeah.
And maybe the first one I remember was when I was 4 years old, and we were living in Oregon. And I remember as a 4-year-old sitting and looking out the window at night instead of going to sleep and waiting for the angel to come back.
Wow.
And I don't remember ever seeing an angel or talking to an angel, but I sat there many nights waiting. And
having like the feeling, the knowing.
The knowing. I was looking up at the sky and like, come back, and I kept saying, come back. But as far as I know, the angel or whoever it was never came back. So that was, yeah.
It's pretty powerful too to be able to remember something like that at 4 years old, and it be so impactful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was 4 because I wasn't in school then.
Yeah.
And because, yeah.
That would have been before about 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So that's a really special one. And then how did your journey kind of grow from there? Where did it take you?
I've been preparing and looking at my journey, and then what you realize is the journey that you went on. It guides you. It leads you to where you are now. So this led me to where I am now. And then,
well, as a 4-year-old, if you don't mind me asking,
yeah.
Or experiencing something like that, did you feel different? Did you feel strange? Did it make you? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, did you find yourself distancing from other people or knowing that you were different?
I think
It just was
I just forgot about it during the day. You know, I was a kid. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. Different kind of
yearning for this person, this being to come back. And
yeah.
so, I mean, I'm surprised too that I remembered it. I don't know how I remembered it. Just, oh yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah.
And then the next time was in the 5th grade, and we were being questioned about local, you know, government, like who's the president, who's the vice president,
right.
who's the secretary of state. We're 5th graders. We
yeah.
don't care. We don't know.
They're still going to quiz you.
And we don't care.
Yeah.
And they made us, I think to intimidate us, they made us stand up in a circle and face into the circle.
Mm.
And then
so looking into each other's eyes.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
And the teacher, one of the questions she asked was, what is the president's mother's name? Now, that's a stupid question, right? In the context, right? and I'm just like a blank, you know, and this name pops into my head. It was like, it wasn't whispered in my ear, it was like it was whispered in my mind.
Right.
And the name was Rose. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, I don't know what that is. And that's the president's mother's name. And I just went, oh, all right. And then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Can you explain a little bit about how you see it? Because I know myself experiencing different kind of clairs, and
Mm-hmm.
identifying the difference between hearing something and almost just like seeing it like it's a plaque on in the inside of your forehead.
I'm all the clairs.
Awesome.
So I mean, the next thing I was going to talk about was I got a visual in my head, you know, on the screen of my mind.
Yeah.
It was a black background with white. It was DEC and then 6, like December 6th.
Okay.
And I looked at that and I didn't know, like, what does that mean? Right?
Yes.
I didn't know, but I was afraid because this friend of ours at that time, he had this reading that he wasn't going to live past his next birthday. He was a Sag and his next birthday was coming up. And I thought, oh no, is that when he's going to die? And I was so worried and everything. And anyway, it ended up that was the day that my beloved dog was hit by a car and had to be put down. But it was like, the dog was like, would you please send her a clear message because I'm going to be leaving.
Prepared.
Right, so she's prepared.
Yeah.
So I get scenes, I get videos, I get sounds in my head, I get feelings, and I even heard, right now I can only remember one time, a voice outside of myself talking to me.
Interesting. And normally it's kind of like an inside voice.
Yeah, this was not an inside voice because I was at a job that was becoming trying, and this voice said, don't worry, you'll be out of here soon.
Nice.
And it wasn't a male voice, it wasn't a female voice. And I just went, okay, thank you. Like, you know.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Okay, yeah, so tell us a little bit more. So where after 5th grade, where did your journey kind of lead?
But then, I have to, there's so much.
Yeah, no worries. Tell us whatever you feel inclined to.
When I was at the end of high school, I met this lady. She was a teacher. She taught all the students that had been kicked out of school, but they still had to meet the requirements.
Right.
So they were like the bad,
right,
the bad kids.
Right.
And she was into all the crazy metaphysical stuff, and so they really lucked out because they had a blast.
Oh, great.
And she'd have them come over, and they would do the Ouija board, and so she would tell me about it. Anyway, so they do the Ouija board, and this man would appear in the house, and they all saw it, right?
Wow.
And anyway, so she was into all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
But that influenced me, and she was so afraid her husband would find out that she'd been doing this in this thing, this person, it was a man, was appearing in the house. So finally one day she told him, and he goes, oh, I know, he's at the foot of our bed just about every night. It was like a husband from a former life or whatever.
Interesting.
But she wanted me to teach tarot classes. And I said, well, I don't do tarot.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got
the cards have never really been your thing.
Yeah, so I got a tarot deck, and I did readings for people, but it wasn't, I just read it right out of the book, and they were totally accurate. So I don't know, I thought, oh, well, yeah. And I was thinking, because what I started doing was using them to check on my boyfriend. And that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. No. And then you become obsessive. When more reading. That'll tell me. Yeah, and you're just like obsessing. So but
just a little disclaimer for those who are watching. Don't use the cards to ask too many questions about your boyfriend. No, but actually, what I just wanted to say was, Ouija boards are something a little bit special.
I don't recommend Ouija boards.
We don't recommend working with Ouija boards. What happens is when you use them is that they open up a door for any type of entity or being to come through.
Thank you,
it's
Michaela.
not specific enough.
Yeah, I was, adventurous and foolhardy.
Yes, and we've all had our moments where we haven't figured out. But just for those who are watching, I would say to stay away from it unless you really know what you're doing and you know what you're getting yourself into. I know we have a couple comments here. Celestial Seasoning saying, "Wow, guys, join in. Give us some questions if you're interested in hearing anything." I'm taking a look at the comments, but let's have Marilyn carry on a little bit. So this woman kind of opened up the metaphysical world.
Yeah, and then the fact that she had confidence in me, like, come and teach my class. About I'm like, no, I'm too afraid. So anyway, after that, a friend of mine, I met this guy that was a friend of a friend, and he was telling us about how he had taken this class called Silva Mind Control. And it's not very well known now, but it was what do you call it? It was paradigm breaking at the time. And he had taken this class.
When was this, about the 80s? Okay, no, we'll talk about that.
A long time ago.
Some time ago.
But he was talking about how he had taken this class and he was driving down the LA freeway and there was this accident and he was guided to pull over, and he pulled over, and somebody in the accident had this huge gash on their head, and he told us that he used what he learned in Silva Mind Control to close up the gash with his hands right there on the spot.
Wow.
And that impressed me. And I went, wow.
That's pretty impressive.
And so when I came to Hawaii, the first thing I did was I took this Silva Mind Control class, and that's what changed everything, I think, for me. That's where I found, I'll just talk about it a little bit because there's so many interesting things that came up with it. It was a weekend class, 2.5 days, and it's exercising your psychic abilities. It's like you're using,
dumb weights,
and exercising. And then the end of the class, we had a test. And for the test, everybody brought in 3 names. So, and then you'd have the name, the age of the person, and the city that they lived in. Like John Smith, 27, Colorado, or whatever. And then we would use what we'd learned in the class to do a medical scan on the person. And we were asked to bring in the names of people that had some kind of illness. Something, And it was incredible. In the class, the level, the percentage of success was in the high 80s. Wow. And that's where I started getting imagings. Like, I would read the name, and one woman appeared in my screen, and she was holding her arm up like this, and I could see it was broken, right? And I said, "Oh, this woman has a broken arm." And then the person who brought in the name was able to confirm. So we got the messages, and then we got the confirmation. Wow. And then there was an older gentleman. He was one of the names, and nobody could get what was wrong with him, what was going on with him. But I got it. And it was because it was a urinary issue, and he was embarrassed.
He didn't want to share it, really.
Yeah, but for some reason I got it, and so that was really interesting.
So can you tell us maybe a little bit? So you kind of started off with getting into brain exercise, you were saying, right? So small things, like something that we could all practice.
Well, that's what I fashioned my psychic development class after. Because I realized that if you go in and you just exercise the heck out of your brain, it sets the intention and it tells your body, this is what we're doing. Because your body is a big help. Like guessing red and black cards, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then in my class, I didn't have a medical final, but the final is remote viewing that has pictures that I downloaded from the internet that have no words, it's just a picture. And then people would use everything that we did. It's really fast. You don't have time to think about, I don't know how to do this, I can't do this. You have no time because you're just being psychic. And then you get this envelope that's just completely blank, and I'm asking you to tell me what the picture is, right? And the success rate was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
People were,
I think it's really special to get that confirmation to get that. I think that really improves people. It gives them that confidence to see that you've got it right.
Yeah. So it was risky for me to do the class because I didn't know what was going to happen. And one of the guys in the class, and I didn't. I mean, I had like 20. There's 22 envelopes, so I didn't know which letter or which number was what or anything. And they pick them at random, right? They pick their own envelope. And so this guy, he was beating himself up, like, he's going, I'm not getting anything. All I'm getting is Starbucks. And it was a picture of a coffee cup.
Wow.
And I told him,
you got it.
Clearly that is a hit.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. And so if you get anything, one guy, he just got the outline of something. And that particular class, it was totally remote because I forgot to bring my envelopes with me. So I had to send him the envelope, the picture, by computer. And he had done a perfect outline of this.
So he drew it first, and then you sent him.
It was just, he had done it the day before in the class.
Wow.
And he just wrote me back and he said, I'm tripping. And I said, I'm tripping too, because it was,
But it's interesting too, that you get to see how differently people start to pick up things.
Yeah.
Like that guy just kind of got a roundabout answer, how he might be able to guess coffee, and this guy just got kind of the outline.
Well, the whole purpose of the class is to experience what it feels like when you're right. What does it feel like?
Yeah.
Like this one was a bumblebee, right? And it was a big picture of a bumblebee. That's why when he did this shape, it was an exact outline of this bee's body.
Right.
But to get to that, he drew everything you could think of under the sun, a fence with grass and flowers and butterflies.
Wow.
So what he was doing was he was drawing the bee's environment where the bee hangs out, right? So anything like that, I consider it a hit, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So anyway.
Oh, I think we might have some questions here. Oh, Celestial Seasoning says that she just saw an orb light in the video. Wow. But it could be light. But thank you.
They're only here helping.
Yes, they're here to visit and give us some ideas.
And then this other story from this class. We had so much fun in the class that some of us got together at this married couple. They had everybody over, so we could practice some more. And so we did. We practiced some really interesting things. And one of them was they had this big aquarium with clownfish in it. And clownfish are bright orange and white striped, right?
Nemo.
Yeah, it's Nemo. It's the Nemo fish.
Yeah.
And they had quite a few, like maybe, 10 or 12, I don't remember exactly. And she wanted us to heal the fish. And so we sat in a semicircle because the tank was against the wall. And the fish had these white things on their fins.
Okay.
And some had like a blob, like a kind of crystalline. It looked like a crystal or something. Some had it on all their fins. Some just had some had bigger ones. Some had smaller.
Some had a growth.
She was really worried because it'd be expensive to take. You don't want to kill them, and they're the pets. And so we sat around and we did what we learned in class, to heal the fish.
Right.
And then she called us all back the next day. Just wow. She goes, it's all gone.
Wow.
Every bit of that was gone. The fish, we were like, wow, okay. And then the job I had then, the woman I worked with, it was a family business. She was, part owner. And she had just come back from the doctor and was pretty distraught, pretty freaking out because she had, the doctor had found a lump in her breast and she had to go back on Monday. I believe it was a Friday. She had to go back on Monday and have it,
taken out.
Well, looked at and
see what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And I said, well, I just took this class and I learned how to do, heal, take stuff away or whatever.
Right.
Do you mind? Yeah, do I have your permission? She says, yeah, sure. And long story short, she comes back Monday just like ecstatic, going, oh my God, there is no lump there.
Wow.
Right.
That gave me some chills in my shoulders.
Yeah. And then there's one more story because this is so different that we learned in the did we learn in the class? I don't remember now. Maybe I don't know if I recommend doing it, but we did it at the time because it was so amazing.
Trying things out. So
yeah, we were trying things out. And there were like I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 of us, right? Including the couple that whose house we were at. Okay. And you take a flashlight and you put a cloth over it so some light gets through, and you shut off the lights more or less, and then you shine the dimmed flashlight in your face, and then you ask for your past lives to show on your face.
So it's almost like a crystal ball, makeshift crystal ball.
No, it's just a flashlight, so everybody can see in the dark what's going on in your face.
I see.
Right? So you aim it right at the face, and we all saw the same things. It was just like a slideshow, face, new face, different. They would just like go by like that, and like one woman, she said later that she had a life in the Civil War and everything, but hers was real, and we all saw the same thing all at the same time. Right? It wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty amazing.
You don't usually, as a group, all see the same thing.
We saw the same thing. Yeah.
Crazy.
And with her, as she switched lives, she had lives as a man, and the facial hair would change. So it'd be a goatee, beard, mustache, goatee, beard. It was just you just see
all the different male.
It was so trippy.
Wow.
And so yeah, I think I guess I would say I was guided to bring up that story because it's so unusual, and I used to do it for friends like, watch this.
Yeah, it is kind of a fun thing to try.
It is fun,
and I don't see how that would be a negative.
I wasn't getting anything, but I had a life as an Indian, and then I showed a friend, and then we're just talking, and we forgot about it, and he goes, your braids won't go away.
Oh wow.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That's beautiful.
So that was empowering and fun, and that was an interesting class.
It's a nice thing to start with, actually, because I don't know too much about past life things, but I do know that a lot of people kind of get into spirituality. It's always an interesting and fun thing to kind of go into your past lives, and it is really empowering to know where you've been, where you've come from, what you've gone through. It's almost like a getting to know yourself, and the past couple live shows we've had here, it always boils down to healing the self, healing the inside so that you can better everything, and getting into past life stuff is definitely really empowering for that, I think. We have a Sarah who's watching us, by the way.
Hi Sarah.
Hi Sarah. Thanks for joining. So let's hear some more.
So then what happened? Well, then I was in a relationship with a person who did not want to hear anything about it. So
that wasn't working.
But then what happened was my mother and stepfather were into all this things, and this is they started going to all the a lot of people were coming to Hawaii at that time. People that I'm thinking like Andre Puharaj, and people that were into the UFO and all that stuff. And they would go to these groups, and then they just studied all the religions. They went to all the churches on the island to just get a feel for it and everything. And they went to this one class, and I knew I should have written it down, but I didn't. It's the channeling of Jesus, I think. Okay. If I said the name, you go, oh yeah, because everybody's heard me. Okay. And my mother, they practiced. They started automatic writing, and so my mother did automatic. She wrote this automatic writing thing because that's what they did in the class, and it was so profound and so beautiful that she proceeded to continue and wrote like 360. But then
So awesome.
my mother and stepdad and I, we all started doing it, and we did readings for our friends.
Wow.
So that's when I started really like officially doing readings.
As a family?
Yeah,
Oh,
as a
that's
family.
beautiful.
And so I don't know if you think I should read that one?
Yeah, give us one. Give us.
Okay, this is the very first one. It's very short,
Awesome.
and I'm gonna read it, and then I'll tell you when it was written, because it'll feel like it was written for yesterday, right? Or the last couple of months. And it's okay. For the most part, in this uncertain world, filled with everything topsy-turvy, not for everything are we meant. Choose, choice, unencumbered by vanity. Let's agree on the results. It will be great parts of wholesome fun, faith, forward-moving action toward heights of fulfillment. In each day, we see mounds of neglect we won't be a part of. For through fulfillment, we rise above it.
Wow.
I mean, that...
I feel that really a lot in my root chakra for some reason.
Yeah.
And I also think that it really does sound like somebody's writing that from yesterday.
I know.
Because
Oh,
even
yeah.
the things that she's saying there,
Yeah,
she's kind of talking about the rise of consciousness that's going on right now.
she wrote this in July 1978.
Wow. Definitely a lady above her time.
And so this idea of fulfillment, you're above, and that's what when I work with clients, know what your passion is, follow it, because when you're in the space of fulfillment, it's a different world.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot, and I also talk to a lot of people, and I'm always talking about, finding your passion and following it, that because that's really where happiness lies. So
It is,
right?
and the world could use so many more happy people.
Yeah, but I think and there's so many people that I meet out there that are like, well, I don't know what my passion is.
Yes, yes.
Do you have any pointers of how to
Well,
get to that?
that's what I do with clients.
Awesome.
I get them, because when, I can feel the energy. If they say something that they think is plain or ordinary or not special, I can feel the energy in it, and I'll go,
but that's it.
That's one of them. That's one of your gifts. That's your direction. That your higher self is there's a charge to it. It doesn't mean that's the be all and end all, but it could.
But it's the starting. It's the
it's a start. And so that's what I'm starting to teach people, is how to navigate and figure out what your gifts are, what your passions are, because we haven't been trained to do that.
No, we really haven't.
And right now in these changing times, in the changing paradigm that's here now, it's like it is one of the most important things that we can all do, because that's what's going to keep us together and ground us and hold us and keep us focused, is doing what makes us happy, doing, as Bashar says, follow your highest excitement.
Also, I feel like there's this kind of inevitable collectiveness that when you find your passion, you go after it. It almost brings people together, because whatever you're doing is always going to be something for the collective. I feel like.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
it's guiding you towards what your service is to the world, right? And usually it's so ordinary that to us, that we think, oh, nobody cares about this, but they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
It's
that's a lot
super
of the
important.
issues, because if you're thinking about it all the time and it's easy to you, that doesn't mean that it's the same way for anyone else.
And that's why you would go to an energy specialist, because I can pick it up and go, wait, hold
That's
on,
something special.
hold on, and then you learn how to nurture that feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
For yourself.
For yourself.
Yeah.
It's your personal GP. I call it your personal GPS.
Yeah.
That's your personal
Let's
GPS.
take a look here. No questions yet. But carry on then. So I really love that. I've always been a very huge advocate for going out there and finding what you're passionate about.
I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's what we're here for, and it's been taught out of us. It's been distracted out of us, etc., etc.
It's our inner fire. It gets
Totally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you get to where you are in your journey now? Was there a a big shift at all, or was it kind of gradual? Was there any other things that happened to experience?
Well, it was pretty non-eventful for a while, and then
so it was kind of like let you sit with it, heal with it, get to know it.
Well, and I was in a relationship where it couldn't be brought up, or I mean, I only really experienced it with, when we were doing the automatic writing together. And when I first read my mother's readings, I was so emotionally, I was just like, oh my God. Because it was like, this is what I've been waiting for. It was like, yeah, this is it, so. But what really, and then I like to, I was looking for things that would actually transform me, change my life. And that's when Access Consciousness came in, and I had my bars run, and I shifted so much, and I just went, wow.
Tell us a little bit about, I've always heard you talk, we've always talked about, Access Consciousness and bars. Tell us a little bit about what that is. Is bars the same thing as Access Consciousness?
It's like the entry in.
Okay.
They make it a prerequisite for all their classes.
I see.
But it was channeled, and you touch points on the head, and what it does, it's like delete buttons, and it clears blocks, and
that's what bars is, clearing those blockages.
But they also have methods where you clear things verbally. So and as these things are cleared, it's like these things, meaning their beliefs, their contracts, there's family lineage,
karmic,
and curses and karmic, and whoa, okay, I'm going into a space, that kind of thing, and also the way we've been brought up, all the beliefs, all the programming of lack, and we've been programmed since the minute we were born, right? And if each one of those things was a brick, just consider we've been walking around with this brick wall around us, right? And Access Consciousness starts taking out those bricks, and you go, oh my gosh, look, I can look through this brick.
I can see.
I can look through this hole, and look, there's a tree there, right?
Wow. Yeah.
And so the bars really grabbed me, and within 3 months I became an instructor, and so I did that for a long time. And we did events. We did the Body Mind Spirit Expo. We were at one of the marathon events.
Oh wow!
And so we did a lot of events. We went to UH right before finals, and we worked on students. Oh. Wow. And it was noisy. We were right by the coffee place, and the students were just like
quiet all the time.
Because besides the deleting, it changes your brainwave. So you go from beta to alpha to delta to whatever.
So the more calming frequencies?
It's the same frequencies you go through when you're meditating. And so some people, when they're doing bars, they actually see an image, and I'm just guessing, well, that's because you're in your dream state, and your dream screen's kicking in. Whatever.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
So bars was a big deal, and Access Consciousness too. We did a lot of fun things. I have a lot of tools from Access Consciousness. They change people.
And so Access Consciousness is kind of like the step up from bars, you would say, or like the evolvement of bars, or just a prerequisite for the studies.
I guess. Well, in order to be certified, you had to be recertified every year. You had to take classes, and I found them to be quite expensive, and so it was a step up in that they give you more information.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think I'm good now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't feel. I still keep up on what they do and say and everything. Gary Douglas, the founder, has profound things to say, and things about money. And Dane here, Heer, he's, you can just, they have a lot of free things, and they can be life changing, and they change it too, right? Because sometimes you just have to have, when you have an awareness of something that's blocking you, sometimes just that awareness is enough to make it dissipate.
Right, exactly. And where does Akashic Records Readings? I know that you offer Akashic Records Readings,
Yeah.
and I loved when I got mine done with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us, how did that one come into play, or where did that start with you?
That was, I think it was right after I was doing Access Consciousness, and a really good friend of mine, well, we used to meet and run bars on each other, we did trades. She worked at the, whatchamacallit Institute in New York, Omega Institute in New York.
Okay.
And she's from here, she's back in New York now. And she decided to become an Akashic reader teacher, to teach people how to do readings. And she needed guinea pigs for her first class, and we got a discount. And so she had to lead these groups, so we did those. And then the main class was a weekend, 2.5 days, and we had to go out to the North Shore.
But it's so nice.
I know, I'm kidding. It was like, we got to go to the North Shore at Kemukle. It was so wonderful. And so we did the classes there, and yeah.
So that kind of opened up stuff for you. So for those of you who don't know what Akashic Records are, they're kind of a library that has past, present, and future information.
Some people say future, but right now, because of the paradigm shift, I would question about the future.
Yeah.
Because we're not here to follow
fate.
Anymore. We're here to create. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah. And so, so part of that was I had to, give 20 or something readings. But my friend Kia said, you don't have to do that many, because I'd already been doing, the automatic writing.
Yeah.
But I felt at that time I did it for my, so I'd have more, what do you call it?
Experience or
bravery.
or confidence.
Confidence. And so I thought, well, it's cool sounding, and it was like a handle. And so I did a lot of Akashic readings, especially for events. One in particular that was once a year, and I've been for the last 6 years. Of course, this year we didn't have it because it's every May, Mother's Day. It was, and I would do like 20 readings in a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And then then people go, oh, you must be so tired. And you've been doing it since 11, and now it's 6 o'clock, and I go, no,
feeling great.
So that's how you're, it's like this. I love this. This energizes me.
Well.
This is like the best thing ever. And I practiced, and I tried a lot of different things on people.
Yeah. See how it works.
And basically with bars and with Access Consciousness and with the clearings and all that, what I like is people come in and then you get a session, and when they leave, they look like a different person, because stuff goes away.
Right.
That's what the work is to me. You take stuff away, and then you get closer.
And
to
you can recreate.
you can recreate. But then you get, right now I'm believing that people, who you are right now is, it's totally enough.
That's a good message to put out there too.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us, especially with social media and all the fact that we get information at a second's notice, we're always feeling that we're not good enough, and we're always trying to keep up, we're always trying to improve. And I think that's a great message to put out there, that we are where we're supposed to be, and that is enough.
And that, as things are cleared, then you can create. Well, how can I create my life? What can I do? And so I have tools that help that, and sometimes things show up in an hour. And the Access Consciousness, that's where I started getting into living by the question. And one of their questions, which is copyrighted, if you believe that, how does it get any better than this? And that question is so powerful, and it makes things change like that. You can also do how good can it get? And you can do all kinds of, how good can my life get? How good can my day be?
Yeah.
How good can this
interview?
You can put in anything you want. And when you ask questions, asking questions is so important, because it's an invitation to what I'm going to call the universe to contribute to you and interact with you.
So it's like because the way it's set up, that question is like, how good can this day get? It feels
Yeah.
like that you're inviting and opening up the
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
So, and it's like the universe is going, oh, well, let me
okay.
show you.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking, let me show you. I'll be right back. Yeah.
Let me bring out the goods.
And it's really fun to play with that because things will show up and you might even forget about it, and 2 days later you'll go, oh my God, and then you can connect the dots. Like, I asked this question and that showed up, and it was kind of mysterious, it was kind of magical and all. Yeah.
So what would you suggest to someone who's kind of looking to do this? Would you suggest that they go for like an access consciousness session, or maybe just like an empowerment coaching session? Or what would you say to somebody who is trying to unblock themselves and start anew?
Well, I guess what I do is I just combine everything in. And if somebody comes in, I can tell what they need.
Right.
And so sometimes I'll do, crazy clearings, or sometimes, I get,
a little bit of everything.
and
in
part
there.
of, well, yeah.
Yeah. Tell us more.
Well, as I've done this work, I've learned what really transforms people. And the things that transform people, it's not what I expected, okay? And one of the things that really transforms people is shooing off dead relatives and
old family energies and stuff.
actual people who have died, and they're hanging around you because they don't know what to do or where to go.
Yeah.
Right? And also people, especially people in the medical field, because they're so nice,
Susceptible
they're
to
so wonderful.
Yeah.
If they work in like a hospital and people die, I mean,
Yeah.
I've had at least one client like that, and I said, you've got this little girl hanging out with you because you were working in the hospital. I asked her, were you in a hospital, like a year ago or whatever? And she wasn't, I think she was just visiting somebody. But, and she said, and when I explained what was going on, she goes, oh my gosh. And so there's this crossover thing that you do. I don't use rattles and I don't use space paint. It's very calm and quiet, and it's like it's a needed service that I didn't even know existed.
So kind of just communicating to the spirit that it's time to move on, giving them the green light.
Yeah, it's a way you empower them, because access consciousness is about increasing your awareness. So the person who's passed over, you're increasing their awareness, and they realize, I don't have to be here, I can go.
They're not so stuck in their thing that they are. Interesting.
Because as one person had put it, I guess I could say it in America, I don't know, in the United States, we don't know how to die properly or where to go.
I can believe that. I can see that, definitely.
Somebody just said that the other day. I'm like, yeah.
Well, nobody gives us the preparation on how to, I guess, release ourselves.
So sometimes there's that kind of work, and but a lot of what I do is, sometimes, people, they're trying to figure out something, so these solutions come up, these ways to block things. So to come in, people want past life
information,
readings and information. And so it depends, on, is it contributing to your life now? And sometimes it will, because the awareness of it, but to grab, I always recommend people grab every gift, every special power they had through all their past lives, bring it now, bring in only what will contribute to your life now. And
that's powerful.
And, that's what's important, I think.
Oh, I mean, I definitely think so. But something that me and Marilyn, I love talking with Marilyn about quantum physics.
Oh, right.
So, why don't you explain a little bit about what quantum physics and how much of an umbrella it is for all of the stuff that you're doing? This is one of my favorite topics.
Okay. Okay, quantum physics. When I was talking about if you ask questions, you're interacting with, you can call, some people call it universe, source, God.
Yeah.
But I like to just call it the universe.
Same.
So I could argue that the quantum field is the universe. The quantum field is the invisible field where all possibilities exist. And some people are kind of freaked out about it, because if you close your eyes and it's dark, and all the space, I mean, you could literally look into the darkness from tens and thousands of miles, whatever.
Right, eons.
But in that space, that's where all possibilities exist. And so asking questions and setting intentions, choosing, writing out and choosing what you want and speaking it out, which I have a really cool system for that.
Nice. And that would be your manifesting class, or?
Well, manifesting has a bad rap, I think, but
yeah,
I guess you could call it that. Yeah. Let's see, what was I? When you bring those things in from the field, they manifest in the 3D reality.
Right.
I think I'm leaving out things, but anyway. So that's why I decided to do a quantum physics class, because it ties in the clearing away of the obstacles and the blocks and manipulation, and it clears it away, and it helps you it helps you feel your own energy when you actually write down and speak out what you want and what works for you. And it also helps you feel the energy of when you're on the right track.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I know we were talking about at one point, like the quantum realm, if we want to break it down to something, it almost seems like the subconscious level in a way. Would that be kind of a right assumption to make?
I don't know, because right now I would say a lot of the things that are blocking us are all our programs and what people call
So the quantum realm, and I know we were talking about this one time. What do we see in that realm? And I know you were saying
you don't see any. Oh yeah, you said you saw colored lights.
I was just like, okay, well, I see kind of this mushy matter floating around, but and for you, it's more like this kind of this open, expanding. Beautiful.
But and the way this is what Joe Dispenza does. When you're in the quantum field, that's when you ask questions like, what does it feel like to feel brave? And then your body reacts, and then the quantum field, and then your body reacts because your mind is in the quantum field, and then it connects to your body, and then your body goes, oh, I know how to feel brave now. I know how to feel confident now, right? You know? So it's kind of this symbiotic thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. So we're coming up to the end of our session here. Do you have anything to add? Any other stories? Well, what I would like to let you all know is that Marilyn will be having these quantum physics empowerment classes that are going to be this coming August. So we'll have we'll be able to do the classes twice this month. So once on the 8th and once on the 22nd of August. So if you guys are interested in that, give me a DM on the Instagram or give us a call here. It'll be really exciting. I'm definitely going to get in there.
Because I do a psychic development class too, but I had this epiphany today, and I realized I can put some of that into the class. It can be like a little bit of everything.
Definitely, yeah.
And the way to create a new reality and a new paradigm, which is where we're all at now. We have no choice.
Yeah.
We must create a new reality, and the quantum physics, the quantum field, is the way to do it. So you have to interact with it.
All right, guys. So I want to leave a little bit of time for anyone to excuse the dog outside. Sorry about that. We're getting some confirmation.
It's a good luck dog.
It's a good luck dog. So yeah, if any of you guys would like to ask any questions or share anything, please go ahead and give us a comment before we head out. But yeah, so Marilyn is here at Gaia. Tell us what it is all that you offer here.
Akashic Readings. I do bars, the intuitive coaching, and all the things that I've learned. I throw them in to what the client needs.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you're normally in here on Saturdays. Saturdays, walk-ins, Sunday by appointment.
Yeah, Sunday by appointment.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today, Marilyn. I always love chatting with you. It's my favorite.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody, for
We have a thank
listening.
you from Celestial Seasonings. She says thank you for sharing your story. And Kalai giving us some support there.
Thank you, Kalai.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, lots of love, guys. Let us know if you have anything to say. I will definitely love to hear your stories. Your DMs are always welcome. And tune in for next time. I don't have a set date planned for our next live show, but watch this space, Instagram, to see when our next one will be dealt with, and it'll be a surprise. Thank you, everyone. Take care. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you. Come by the store.
Yeah, come give us a visit.